super sport, wet paint, big feet. I pull up and kill shit, 6 feet.
Alright, 6 feet going deep. It's Torius with
Rob Dymez, baby, what's good?
Alright, Rob, why don't you start off by telling us what you do?
Well, I'm an artist out of Miami, starting the game as a songwriter. Just doing my thing, man, coming up.
Nah, for sure. You were like born and raised out here, right?
I was born and raised in Miami.
Tell me about like your upbringing.
Well, I grew up in a household, man, that I think was like the perfect household to be influenced with music. Like I had an older sister who listened to like all rap music, so grew up listening to like artists like Tupac and Biggie, and then like I had another sister that would listen to like R&B and like pop, and then my parents listened to a lot of like Spanish and rock music, so it just made me like a versatile music person.
Yeah, we were just listening to a bunch of your like unreleased shit, right?
Yeah.
So while I was listening to it, I was wondering who your influences were, because there's a lot of stuff that I heard that I was like, oh, okay, that's like, you know, like I know that your music is, you know, like all you.
Yeah.
But tell me about your influences. Like, who were you influenced by?
Well, Lil Wayne was like the first one. Like Lil Wayne is probably like the reason I rap. And then like I like artists. I like a lot of artists, man. I like just good music in general. So like anyone that is considered like a GOAT, like that's really what like the people that I stick to. Mm-hmm. You know, the new artists are cool, but I'm not really into like the trendy music. I'm more into like, even when it sounds trendy, make some time, try to make it timeless, you know. Mm-hmm. So that's so anyone that's like GOAT level, that's been in the game for like years, those are the artists that like I listen to and get influenced by.
So like you're chilling in the whip, right? What playlists do you be bumping? Like, do you play like old stuff, or you play like
I play new music. I mean, not all new, but my favorite like genre I would say is like R&B. So I like listening, like right now, an artist that I really like is St. John. Like St. John, like he's like a rapper who makes like R&B music too. Mm-hmm. So it's like he got a lot of dope vibes. Or anytime like it's really in the feels, like anything that really like has emotional touch to it, like I gravitate to that music. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so you had a very interesting come up story, right? Because you were basically telling me how you started from the bottom. Yeah. And like you made it to where you are right now. Yeah. So tell me about that journey. Like tell me about like when it started, like when you started to make your first music.
Bruh, like I say it in a song, like we started literally in my homeboy's crib, like in a closet with like a fucking $25 microphone. That's how it started.
How long ago was that?
Already like 8 years ago.
8 years?
Yeah, 8 years ago. So then that's how we started, and it was just like anybody else, just like a dream of making music. I would say only difference between us and a lot of people that started at that time was like work ethic. Like we really worked that music before we made $1, like it was our job. Like it was like we lived it. Like we worked all, like at that time I had a regular job, and as soon as I got home from my job, like I was making music till like 4:00 in the morning, getting up at 7 a.m. again to do it all over again. So that led to getting really good at music. You know, like people ask me all the time, they ask me like, bro, like how do you advance in this world? Like how do you get up? And I always tell them to focus on the music, because I think nowadays people are focused on everything except the music. And it fucks you up. I mean, you could have all the clout in the world. You could have like all these other things that kind of give you some like eyes on you, mm-hmm. but you won't last without the music. You won't go like to any level without the music. And before I had $1, the music is what got me in the door. You know, that's what really like started helping me get to the bag, was the music.
I want to move this right here real quick.
All good, bro.
Tell me about your first fan. Like when you got the first person to like tell you like that wasn't your friends or your family. The first person just like randomly tell you like, oh shit, your music's fire.
Well, I don't remember like the first person, but I want to say like seeing that in my DM was like special, because I remember like like every artist like telling their friends and family, hey, post my music, like, you know, like just promote me, you know. And at that time, nobody really wants to do it, you know. Like in the beginning, nobody really like believes in it like that, you know. But then like growing into an artist that I get random DMs now of people telling me, bro, you're gonna blow up, you're the GOAT, you're amazing, like it's unbelievable. It's like, damn, like you see me like that, bro. Like that's like it feels good.
You know what that reminds me of? You know how like Drake dropped his like Certified Lover Boy?
Yeah.
It's like, I saw a post that said everyone's posting that, but what about your homie? That's
that's facts. You know? That's facts, man. That happened to me. Nobody wanted to post my music or post what I was doing, you know. And
why do you think that is?
I mean, it just like looking back at it, it really is like just quality, bro. Like it's like in the beginning, you're trying to figure out like who you are as an artist and trying to develop your sound. And maybe your sound is not all that great. I mean, maybe you're not very good at making music at the beginning. Sometimes also it comes down to like production. It comes down to like engineering, like mixing and mastering. So obviously, even if I was the best rapper, but my beat sucked and my mixing and mastering sucked, then the person doesn't even want to listen to that song. And rarely do you have artists in the beginning have all those components. Like they don't have an engineer or they don't have a good producer. So the music doesn't sound good. So people don't really fuck with you. Like, and then like as you start getting those pieces together, the music starts sounding better, and then people are like more supportive of that, you know.
When did you start investing in your music?
Well, I started investing maybe like, well, I've been investing since the beginning, like in a sense of like knowing what things I need. Like I need to, you know, from the smallest thing, like I need my own studio setup. So like investing in that, you know, like.
When did it become like hard? Like the decision started like hurting?
I mean, last year the decision started hurting because like the level is much higher. So when you're spending money, you're spending thousands of dollars, not hundreds anymore. So like in a month you could run through like 10,000-20,000 in a month, and then you'll be like, fuck, like that's a lot of money.
But is it like mostly on the image, or is it on like actual
it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything. Like you spend money on like when you shoot a video, you got to spend money on production costs, like extras. You spend money on outfits. You spend money on location. Like it's so many things. Like that's thousands of dollars in itself. And then, just doing like day-to-day shit too. Like investing in different things that you're trying to flip like money in different ways just to help fund like the music, because you can make money in music, which I have. Like I've gotten major placements and gotten payments from like labels like Sony, Interscope and stuff like that, but that money is not, you're not gonna be making that money all the time. There's a good season and then there's down seasons, there's good seasons. So in between that, you need to find ways to make money. You need to like be an entrepreneur. Like, okay, I made some music on money. I made some money on music, and now let's start like a touro business and get like 2 cars and start touring them shits out. And now we're making 3-4 bands a month, and we're taking that money, putting it back into the brand. Brand gets bigger, more opportunities come.
So it's not just making money from music, it's making money from other ventures.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, there's no way, as an upcoming artist, there's really no way, unless you have an investor, for you to like fully live off of the music. Even when I had like the best seasons in music, like in making money, I've made what a regular person makes, like a regular salary, you know, like maybe like 40-50K in a year. But then if you're investing 100K, where do you get the other 50? You know, like you have to make that money and invest it into things and move correct. Like try to figure out ways that you could partner up with people, you know, in business in general, and just build businesses. And then as you build those businesses, you never forget about the main business. Like LeBron said this in an interview, and I thought it was like genius. It was literally like him being an entrepreneur and doing like the film thing, acting, all these things. But they were like, him and his team were always saying, but don't forget about the main thing. So what that means is like, Okay, yeah, we could build. Let's say we get Airbnbs and we get Turo and we do marketing, we do songwriting, we do a bunch of different things and we make money. But the main thing that built this whole thing was the music and my brand. So we gotta continue like get that money, push this brand forward. Cause we put this brand forward, like there's more money in those areas, and then you keep doing it over and over. It's just a cycle, every level. You get me? Mm-hmm. So that's how it's been the whole way.
So if you're making like that 40, 50 grand off of music, do you feel like, all right, what makes it worth it to keep doing music as opposed to getting a regular job that you're getting 40 to 50 grand?
I mean, you're just doing what you love every day. Like there's nothing like being able to. It's two reasons. One, you do what you love every day, so you're waking up like happy and doing what you really want to do. And then number two is you have more time on your hand. So like you have more flexibility in your schedule. And what that means is, how many times have you been called for opportunity, and if you had a regular job, maybe you can't leave. So they'll be like, yo, meeting at 2:00 with L.A. Reid. Like, you're gonna try to get out of it, but what if they called you? What if they call you tomorrow and say, "Yo, meeting at 2:00 with Interscope," and you can't get out of it every time. So, not having a job gives me the ability to network full fledged. So, like, if there's an opportunity, I could be there at 11 a.m. Oh, at 2 p.m. we got another meeting. All right, bet. 5 p.m. we got another meeting. All right, bet. And then like networking is your net worth. You know, like you're gonna build businesses off of that.
What do you think makes it really easy for people to want to quit doing music? Like, what do you think it is that, like, that makes them want to quit music?
I mean, bro, like all the obstacles, man. Like from the simplest. I forget now because now I have obviously everything to my disposal, but from the simplest thing of not having a place to record, or not even knowing how to record. Like, that's step one. So if you don't know how to record, or you don't have the money to buy the equipment to record, that's already like obstacle one. And there's obstacles like that all along the way, from like, I need cover art, I need a music video, I need nice pictures, I need mixing and mastering, I need marketing, I need money to do all of that. I mean, like, there's so many things, and it just becomes exhausting, and then everyone doesn't have like that same drive or luck sometimes to get those opportunities. So a lot of times people will just give up because there's just too many pieces to put together. Every artist is built with a team. Like, there's no artist, like rarely you see an artist like maybe like a J. Cole that like was a producer, like he'll record himself and all that shit. But most of the time is an artist that got an engineer, producers, some of them have writers. Like, there's a whole team behind that. And in order to find people, 5 or 6 people to believe in you and walk with you every day, that's difficult. That's not an easy thing to do. Like, you're literally telling somebody, yo, forget about what you got going. Just like, come over here and follow me.
All right. So 2 questions. How do you build a team? Like, how did you end up, getting people to follow you and to work with you? Right. And what are the roles of everyone in your team? Like, if someone's watching this right now, right, and they're trying to build a team, they have nobody. Right. Like, what roles do they need to have?
Well, the way that I built the team was just first building myself up individually. So when I didn't have an engineer, when I didn't have a studio, like money to go to a studio, I did it myself. I built my own studio in my crib. It was way less fancy. Like, it was nothing like this, and it had no lights. It had like cheap ass speakers. Like, these speakers cost, I think, $2,500 each. And the speakers I had at the time were like $300 each. And my computer would crash. Everything was fucked. But I taught myself how to record, and I practiced. So I got to a level that I was then able to show an engineer or anyone, hey, check my music out. And now they're listening to something that's more quality. So there goes one believer, hey, I'm here with you, bro, because you got it. And then then you start getting more people. But the role that I looked for, the first role that I was looking for was just a producer. Like, I thought to myself, like, if I get beats like from somebody that's fire, then I know I could rap and I could help. Like, I could just record myself if I need to, you know? But yeah, like, a producer is definitely important. Even though this beats online, is nothing like having a guy with you or a couple guys with you that can make, like, custom-made stuff for your sound. And then engineer is definitely important because you need somebody that knows what they're doing when they're tracking you, and then also can mix and master at a high level so your music sounds quality. So those are like the two main roles. But then like you could expand that because the more producers you have, the better. The more that you have multiple engineers, better. If you have artists with you, they could also kick in a line or two. Like I write my own shit, so I'm a guy that I get called to write. So like I have a strong pen. But if you got another guy that could write at a high level too, and you're missing a bar, and he's like, yo, just say boom, 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 shit, that just helped you like a lot. It just helped you like think less, and he's helping improve your music because like the saying, two brains is better than one is real, bro. So like if you got more people in the room that know how to write, even though you're writing your own shit, they might hear a line or two and say, hey, you should switch that line. It sounds better like this. And you know, it just improves it. So all those roles, you know, like engineer, producer, probably the two main ones. And then if you need help writing, getting writers is good. And then when you get to a higher level, then probably like a manager that's organized with like paperwork and stuff like that. Yeah. So I have all that.
And how do you make it when you're when you're having a team, right? How is it that you know, not everyone wants to be like, because everyone wants to be the guy. The guy, right? Yeah. It's
always
exactly
always every day.
So how do you stop that from happening? Like, you know, because there's always one star.
Yeah.
And everyone else helps to lift that person up, but then egos get in the way.
Always, man. I mean, I deal with that with my team, but really, I think you don't stop it from happening. What I learned is that you gotta just embrace it. And you just gotta find people that are not like envious or they're always gonna be a little bit of jealousy and maybe a little bit of envy, but not so much, not detrimental to the team, because that's just like you said, guys feeling like they're the guy. But if they're not like envious or jealous and they're not detrimental to the team, like if it's not so like at a detrimental level, then if you embrace it. What you're basically doing, like if I give you an analogy, is like lining up to do 100-yard sprint. And you say, yo, everyone's starting in the same line. And now everyone has the same ability to run over there. And let's see who's faster, me or you. And like the work will say who the guy is. You get me? Like I'm the guy in my team just because I have the most music. My music right now sounds the best. Because I have a lot of it. Because I have more experience maybe than other guys. Maybe because I work a little bit more than you do. You know, stuff like that. So that's how you kind of manage that. You say, hey, like everyone has same ability, same access to the studio. Like the only difference would be like money. So that's another thing that I do in my team is that since I know the business of music, I let niggas know like, all right, you want to do that? You want to be a rapper? All right. You want to shoot a high-level video like the one that I shot? All right, that costs $6,000. You got $6,000? Oh, you don't have it? Then we got to work with what you have. So you got 500? I bet. We could still work with the 500, but just know that you putting the 500 here towards this might not be as successful as what I'm doing because I'm putting 5,000 into what I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? So it's just giving guys perspective and saying like, we can get there. We just got to build you up to that point where you can make those moves. You get what I mean?
Just not like jump from like this level to like this
exactly, because it's not going to happen. It's just not, it's not realistic. So I have guys that are younger than me now and they're coming up, but they're at a level that they still haven't like, they're not financially stable yet. They're still trying to put pieces together. So I tell them, bro, like, work on putting those pieces together so then you could like really like attack the music. It doesn't mean like stop making music. Like do what you gotta do, but build your stability so you can push it.
So does that mean keeping a 9 to 5, like a regular job?
I would say keep a 9 to 5 to the very end. To the demand is too high for you to have a job. You know, like, because like if you quit your job and you like, fuck it, I'm gonna full-fledged this shit, right? Mm-hmm. And you got a little bit of money saved, that money's gonna run out. And then what are you gonna do? I mean, like, of course, you could scam, you could trap, you could do all those things. But if you don't want to do those things, then now you're left, you know, with nothing. Now you're broke. So the way that I at least did it was I kept my job for as long as I could. Even when I was making music money, I was already getting paid like checks from Sony, and I still had a regular job because I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna build until the point that the demand is so high and like I have so much going on that I can't have a job. And that's what happened. Like right before I quit my job, like I was doing bad at work. Like they were like, yo, you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, where you at? You know, you're not performing, you're not doing shit. And I'm just like, I wasn't sleeping because the demand was so high that it was pulling me more towards music, you know. Mm-hmm. So that's what really happened.
So let's say like you're like making money from music, and then you're having like a regular job, and then like people know you as like this big flexer, this person with so much money. Yeah. And then you're working at like Subway or like like Publix or something, right?
Yeah.
So and then they see you and like, oh wait, you working here? Yeah. Like, what about that?
I mean, that's why you can't front. Like even when I had a regular job and I was making some music money, I never lived beyond my means. I never did anything to make people think that I'm being fake. Like, you know, so for example, like I had a regular job and I was in a $1 million studio writing for an artist who signed to Sony, like a big artist. So now I would post that, and that's not fake. Like I'm really in the studio writing for this artist, like no cap. But I have a regular job. I'm not rich, but I'm here. So I did post those things. So sometimes people did assume like, shit, if he's there already, like he can't have a regular job. But that's not reality, because in music, like money is like retroactive. Like you do the work before you get paid. So like you could write a song today and it won't come out for 2 years. And then in 2 years, then you get a check, and then also you'll get royalty and shit like that. You get percentage of the song. But that's what happened to me. I never flexed on anything that I didn't have, bro. Like everything that I flex on now, even if I don't own it, bro. Like even if I don't own it, the way I see it, like I just rented a rare Lambo for the video. I don't own that Lambo, but I could afford getting it for the day. I could afford like, you know, paying $1,500 when other people can't. Like if I want it for 3 days right now, $4,500, I got it. You get me? So that's the way I justify those moves, because I say, shit, yeah, the Lambo ain't mine, but I got the bread to really get the car. Like I got the bread to really be in $1 million mansion in DR. Cost me $4,200. Who could stay 3 days and pay $4,200? Not too many people. There's people that can, but not too many regular people can spend $10K this month and next month in October spend another 10, you know, and still pay their bills. You know what I mean? So everything I'm doing now is real life. It's not like I'm not faking none of it. It's like I'm really in DR in the crib. I really got these models here for real, and like the clothes I'm wearing is really mine. And like, you know what I mean? Like and I'm not fronting. So I'm always like, whenever, like now when people see me, they know I'm not rich, and I tell them I'm not rich, bro, but I'm doing okay, you know, but I'm not rich. So I like you'll see that when I do become rich, then like once again my lifestyle is you're gonna see it. You're gonna be like, the nigga rich, he got the Lambo parked outside, you get me? He rich, we put him up to the mansion in his crib, you get me? Like it's really mine, you know. That's when I'll really flex that, you get me?
That made me think about, you know, have you ever read the book Mastering?
No.
Or heard of they say that you need 10,000 hours.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact, bro.
And you put in your work.
Yeah.
Right? And you said that you practice and you get better.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about like artists that they might have blown up in like 2 days, 3 days of making music, you know? And like, you know, that this high level.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, there's artists that do put in like those 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Man, I honestly feel like God blessed them. Like they won the lottery. Like they literally won the lottery.
That was another thing I was gonna ask. Like, do you feel like in the music industry it's about putting those 10,000 hours in, or is it about something else?
If you wanna last, you gotta have those 10,000 hours. If and nowadays anybody could become like a viral sensation. Like anybody could blow up off of TikTok or off of a video, off of one song, but those artists never last. If you didn't really put in those 10,000 hours, you're just gonna pop up, and you know, a year or two later, you're nobody. You get me? So if you want to last, and if you want to evolve, because sometimes even the guys that like pop up, that you're like, okay, he's gonna be a one-hit wonder and never like do it again. They stay kind of relevant because when they get in that position, they put their foot on the gas and they're like, shit, I don't have the 10,000 hours, but I'm gonna be in the studio like every day trying to become that artist. But they won't evolve. They won't like level up. The artists that you see level up are the artists that did put those 10,000 hours in. So you see them like their first project already sounds solid. You get me? And then their next shit is even better because they never had it so sweet. They never had like, for the first time ever, they're like, yo, financially I'm all the way good. I have all the access to every producer, everything that I need. I'm good. So they're gonna evolve every time. They already have the skill set. They're not going into the studio like praying to sound good. They're going to the studio knowing that most of the time they sound good, and every once in a while they're gonna have that shit. They're gonna have that song that you're just like, whoa, you get me? But your percentages, just like a shooter, like your percentages shooting get better the more you shoot. So like eventually you're shooting at a crazy rate, you know? Like I remember when I used to make songs, like maybe 10 songs, and I only had like 1 good song, 2 good songs. Now I make 10 songs and like 7 or 8, you'll probably be like, yo.
When you make music, you feel like all of them are good?
No. Hell no.
For real?
Hell no. Like we're already at the level that it's not bad. You know, it's not bad. It's like if you go to Mercedes-Benz, like even the cheapest Mercedes isn't bad. You get me? Like you still in a Benz, but there's days that you're gonna have the CLA, and there's days you're gonna have the exotic shit, the shit all the way at the top. You know?
That's BMW, my bad.
Exactly, but you're gonna have that car that everybody wants. That's like 6 figures. You get me? Mm-hmm. So the same thing happens in music. We make music already at a level that we done it so much that even the worst shit that I play you'll be like, oh shit, that's the vibe. But then we have other records that are like that shit, that exotic shit that is like the record that we believe is a hit, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's how it works.
Do you feel like there's a formula to making a hit?
I don't think there's formulas. There's definitely formulas. I think there is a formula. Like, now, you don't really know what's going to be a hit, you know, because there's obviously different hits. You know, there's different songs that were different and they made it all the way. My formula for what I think is a hit is, like, putting all the best shit in the beginning. And trying to level that part up every time. All right, so I'm gonna break that down. A lot of artists say, I've heard a lot of artists say this. I even believed this when I first started making music. You're making a song, and a minute in, there's this part that you're like, yo, you hear that part? That part is crazy, right? And everybody gets excited in that part, in that 1 minute part. That after a minute, you hear that shit. No one's gonna listen to that minute, bro. No one's gonna listen to that minute. If my next door neighbor handed you a song right now and said, yo, I'm gonna text you a song. If the first 5 seconds of that song ain't that shit, you're not playing it no more. You're turning it off, and you're like,
the first second.
Exactly, the first second, right? Okay, so I've learned my formula for a hit. If you find that piece that you're like, yo, this is that shit, you put it all the way in the beginning. And that's what you base the whole song off of. So let's say you got this part that you're like, yo, this shit is amazing, right? and you're gonna scale. You're gonna try to outdo that part with the next part and the next part and the next part. There's no drop off. This is not a we start the movie slow and then we get to a climax and then we dip down and go up. Nah, this is how the song should go the whole way. Like from the beginning, shit is fire, then it gets more fire, then it gets more fire, then it gets more fire, then it ends up being fire as fuck. That's the only way.
Yeah, I noticed in your songs, all the beats always switch up.
Yeah, man, that's what we try to do. We try to get dynamic and like feed people slowly, but also making sure at that beginning, right from the jump, you're hearing something that catches your ear.
So do you work with the producers with that?
All the time, bro. All the time. Like I like sometimes my guys would make beats that I don't say nothing about and we don't touch. But then there's times that I definitely sit down and I'm like, take this melody off or switch this drum pattern or like, let's build it together. Or I give them an idea. I give them like references. Like I say, because I record on melodies, I say, bro, and the song is not so formulated when you're recording on a melody, it could go anywhere. Like you can make a trap song, you can make a pop song, you can make R&B, you don't know. So I'll give them the direction. I'll say, bro, this song right here needs to be like Teenage Fever, bro, from Drake. You heard that song before? Like, this is where I try to go with it. So can you like fuck with it to take it in that realm? And or like this song needs to be like Dua Lipa. Like, so we do some dance shit on here. We just did one for like this female group that we're working with. It had a song on a loop. Loop is fire. And I was like, yo, we need it to be like Dua Lipa, like dance. And that's what he was building. He was building the dance shit.
Because your producers are in Europe.
Well, 4 of them are in Europe. 3 are here in Miami.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna ask, how is it that you're able to work with all of the producers if they're like so far away?
Well, those guys, they send me stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. And so they're sending me like emails. We're in a WhatsApp group, so they're sending me like loops all day. They're sending me beats all day.
But is it easy working with them?
It's easy working with them with a production team here. Because when they're sending shit, it could be edited here. If I had to like edit back and forth, then it'll be an issue because they're sending me shit, then I'm like, yo, change the 808, and then I gotta wait for him to do it. But I don't gotta wait. Now I just say, send me the stems, like send me the entire beat tracked out with every instrument that you put in the beat, and we could edit it here. So I have 3 guys here that are like top level guys, and they'll send them over from Europe, and we'll edit it here. I'll be like, yo, change this, and we'll change it right here. Mm-hmm. So it works with the guys, like having guys here and over there, like that's how we work.
At what level are you right now with the business stuff? Like the business side of music?
With the business side, I mean, bro, with the business side, I have like access to like almost any music person in Miami. Like, like anyone major, even labels I have access to, executives I have access to. So that definitely, with the business of music, I could dip into it as much as I want to. Like if I wanted to songwrite and produce all day, I could probably do that.
All right, so what's like a business thing that most artists don't know about that you've come you've come across and it caught you by surprise? Or like a legal, like business or like legal thing?
Legal things? Probably the labels are coming for a lot. The labels are signing artists for like 80% of them. Like a lot of major record labels are taking a lot from the artists. So in the beginning, I didn't know that they were taking so much. You get me? And a lot of artists are living off of like their advance money. Like they'll get $300K up front, and then like their life changes because now they got $300K. And yeah, there's a budget there. So that first like check is like, let's see if you got what it takes. Let's see if you stay relevant. Let's see if you evolve, and then that's how you start getting money for real.
Do you think most artists are smart with their advance money?
Hell no. Yeah, artists are blowing money on like all the rapper shit, like the starter kit. But it's like, that's what I call it, the starter kit. But I mean, like, I know the starter kit is part of the game though. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you do Like they trying to go for a certain look. But I would say you don't gotta go so crazy. You could buy some shit and not spend 200,000, or 150. Like these dudes are spending 6 figures on shit.
But that's what puts you in the news, though.
It's true, but then what about if you could have had that 100K and invested it in marketing? What if you had that? If you had 100K and you call up every blog on Instagram, literally Our Generation Music, Say Cheese, No Jumper, Shade Room, whatever fucking blog you want to be on with 100K in a day, you'll be on every single one. You'll be everywhere. Like niggas will swipe up and there goes the same nigga.
But if your music's not good, do you think that all that marketing and media press can still get you up there?
It's gonna get you a little bit higher, but I only recommend that push when the music is ready. I haven't even done that push. Like last year, I obviously I have money to do it, but I didn't do it because I felt like I didn't have enough of a footprint to like get eyeballs. The point of eyeballs is to get them to watch something. So if you don't have enough work for them to see, then what do you want those eyeballs for? Like if you got one music video and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna put it on everything. And they go and they look at it and they're like, all right, does this artist have more music videos? No. Does he have more music out? No. So that's it. Goodbye. You get me? But if you're an artist that now, by the time they see you, like right now I got 6 music videos. I'm gonna drop like another 6 before I do any marketing like that. Like when we do that marketing, now I have 12 videos out. So now you're gonna go back and you're gonna see, let me see what he did, and then see quality all the way. And when you see a lot of quality, that's when you become a fan.
All right. Because there's always the argument that should you have a scarcity of music, or should you have like a plethora of it, right? Like an abundance of it. Right? And also, a lot of times fans become fans of artists because they watch them come up, right?
Right.
Puya,
right?
Fat Nick.
Yeah.
Like a lot of their fans were fans of them because they grew up watching their come up.
Right.
So, how do you feel about the difference between watching someone go from like low quality videos, like Kodak, for example?
Right.
He's rapping at 14 years old.
Right.
And now he's this huge artist.
Right.
As opposed to an artist that you go back to look at his old stuff and there's only stuff from a month ago, 2 months ago. They can't find anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's dope when you can see the journey from the beginning, but sometimes, it could work either way, because even with an artist like me, that you'll go and research me and look at my shit, like the beginning of me as an artist was already pretty high level, but it was only high level because I was already in the music industry, so that's why I had access to certain things. I think as long as you're showing some sort of quality, even when the video is bad, if you see potential in it, then that's what matters. And if you see growth, so no matter what level you start at, like I think people become fans of just general growth. So even if it was at a high level when it started, as long as you're growing all the way, like St. John, like you look him up, he don't have nothing that's not high level. Like you can't find shit. So the level he started at was already super high level, but he keeps evolving. He keeps making more high level shit. So, that's even Post Malone when he did White Iverson. That was one of his. He had shit from before, but that was like first like Post Malone, like this is who I am, and he just leveled up from that point, and that was already high level.
That makes a lot of sense actually. This was a question I had about female artists, right? Because you said that you did writing for female artists.
I did.
Do you feel like female rappers should rap more like masculinely or femininely, right? Like, should a female rapper be like Cardi B, talking about how many guys want to like fuck, like eat her pussy or like shit, like rob niggas and shit?
Yeah.
Or should she talk about more like feminine stuff, like being more feminine artist?
Yeah, I think I think that they should do whatever comes natural to them. Like, I think that at the end of the day, like, an artist should be who they are. Mm-hmm. So if you're a girl that moves like a nigga and like wants to get her pussy ate and will kick the dude out the crib, then rap about that shit, you know, like. Mm-hmm. But if you're a girl that doesn't live that life, then rap about what you live, you know, like.
Because I always hear about female artists talking about, I can't, like, I have to talk about like nigga stuff. Yeah. Because I can't, you know, like, dudes don't want to hear me, you know, talk about like regular girl stuff.
Nah, I mean, I think that's like they shouldn't go by that. I think they should go by whatever they feel is the real them, like what's true to them. Mm-hmm. You know, like same thing as like when rappers talk about being like a big trapper and they never done that in their life. Like dudes look at that whack. Like you're gonna look at that and be like, oh, this nigga fake. You know? So it's the same thing with girls. Like I think girls should just rap about the life that they live. If the bitch was a stripper, like just like Cardi was a stripper, and she talks about X, Y, and Z, like go for it. You was a stripper, like so you talk about the life you lived, you know? And I think they should just rap or sing about whatever is the life that they live.
But do you think that there's a female rapper that can still be popular, rapping about like female stuff, like women stuff?
Yeah, of course. Like there's artists that have gotten up rapping not so savage, you know. They rapping more like their vibe, you know, and they're still doing well.
Because I remember when Lil Yachty wrote that City Girl song, right? Yeah. There was a lot of backlash for it because they're like, oh, Lil Yachty wrote these lyrics, and it's like about like Birkin bags and like stealing from niggas and shit. Yeah. So when you told me about that, it made me think about like, you know, how would you write for a female rapper, you know?
Well, you gotta know a little bit about them. Like you gotta like get to know them a little bit and see what the vibes are. Also study their music. So like every session that I would go to, I would study. Like, I would listen to their music. I would, like, go online and see what they had. Like, I work with an artist named Tay Money out of Texas. I got a placement with her that is featuring the baby. And I didn't know much about her, but I went, saw what song, like, she had first, a song called Trapper's Delight. I went to go listen to that. I saw some of her videos. Like, I studied her before we got in the studio. And then when we got in the studio, I peeped what the vibes were. Like, I saw what type of artist she was, what type of person she was. Learn a little bit about her, where she's from, all those things, and then you just go in and you just try to like make it the best that you can, like as if you're. Yeah, for sure.
She's like popping up right now.
Yeah, she's nice, man. She's nice. I fuck with her.
How do you link up with all these artists?
Some of them have been through Instagram, and then others have been through like just industry people, like connecting us. Mm-hmm. Like I connected with Tay Money. With a music exec. His name is Dizzy Cleanface. He's the one that linked me and put me in a room, and we just did the song. Mm-hmm. You know. And then I worked with Danny Lay before, Cool and Dre. Shout out to them boys. Those are goats, legends, bro. And they put me in a room with Danny Lay. So stuff like that.
When do you feel like an artist is giving too much of themselves, right? Like right now we're doing an interview. You're pretty much giving the mystery of who you are away, right?
Right.
But I mean nowadays it's like it's not really seen as like how it was before. Like back in the days, like where artists couldn't like they had to be very mysterious. Right. Now you see artists making TikToks every day, doing all these different videos on YouTube.
Right.
How do you see about like the mystery of the artist versus like the marketing where you got to be seen everywhere?
I mean, I think in today's world, I feel like you could only be mysterious when you're already at a high level, you know, because like Playboy Cardi, he's pretty mysterious, you know, like he pops up here and there, you get me? Yeah. But he's already up, so
and he's like famous for being mysterious.
Exactly. So you're already at a, you know, at a place already that you can be mysterious, you know, like I think like Travis Scott is probably an artist too that sometimes he likes to like be a certain way, you know, like.
Well, I mean, he had like a McDonald's.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like in the sense of like not posting so much, not being so viewed. You get me? Like, there's other artists that they're online every day. Like they're on their story active. They're posting every other day, and then there's some artists that barely post. You know, they're barely like in the public eye, and so I think you could like on the way up, you have to be in the public eye because you need to be relevant. You need to be seen. You need to like people need to know of you, and then once you get up to a certain level, then you can start being mysterious. Mm-hmm. It actually works in your favor then, like when you're already up and at a level to be mysterious, because then you're less accessible. You know, it's just like also like my girl was just telling me this. It was interesting. She was saying that I gotta stop liking pictures. I'm like, what you mean? Like
that's like a girl thing.
But she right though. She right though, cause she named other artists that are big, and she's like, you don't see so and so liking pictures, and I was like, damn, you right. You right. I feel like you right, cause you're less accessible. Everyone likes like, bro, like any hot girl on Instagram. If you see her and she has a following, 99% of the world of guys, they're liking that picture, bro. So what if you're the 1%? Then no matter what, they can't find you. Like they would never see Rob Dymez liked this girl's picture.
What about comments?
Nah, comments is even worse. Like,
but that's how you get more followers.
It's true. That's what I said. That was my defense. I was like, That's how you get more followers. You gotta engage. But, you know, I guess you gotta be more tasteful. That's probably what the answer is. You gotta be more tasteful with what you like. Instead of liking all the thought shit that every guy likes, now you're a more high level guy. So guess what? Don't like all the thought shit. Like when a girl does some creative shit. Like, yo, this pretty girl just painted a fucking canvas. Like she painted some shit and it's raw as fuck. Like that picture. Instead of her popping her ass out. You get me? Because then if her popping her ass out, you're the dude running over there, you're just like every other dude. What makes you that star? What makes you that unique guy if you're making the maneuvers that every other guy is making? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like moving better. You know, like you gotta like realize that you start becoming something that's not so normal. So you can't just be jumping in DMs like a crazy man, you know, like, yo, what's up? Yeah. You can't be moving like that, because then they're just gonna look at you like a regular dude. They're like,
oh, look who's in my DMs.
Yeah, he's in your DMs too. Yeah. Oh, he in my DMs too. Oh shit, he in everybody DMs.
But is it every guy in everyone's DMs?
I don't think, man. I think you get to a place where girls are in your DMs, like, because it happens to me already, where like hot girls will be in my DM. Like, and they'll be like, hey, what's up? You know? And then also, like, you could be in the DM, but you got to watch out how you move. Like, if I'm hitting a girl up in DM, I'm just hitting her up with, hey. Like, that's all I'm saying is, hey. So that hey is going to let me know if you fuck with me or not. Like, you're either going to respond to that hey or you're not. But there's dudes jumping crazy. There's dudes in there like, hey, I could, and they write a paragraph to the girl.
Like you gotta just reply to the story. Just be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, nah, you could do that. You show love, you know, every once in a while. But you know what? Like the way that I've seen even better, bro. Cause think about it. A hot girl post, she's gonna get, bro. Like I seen on my girl's gram right now. She every time she posts, she getting like heart emojis all day, like a bunch of shit all day, right? Yeah. So think about it. If 20 dudes just replied to that story and all were like heart eye emoji, demon emoji, whatever emoji, like you're just 1 out of 20. You get me?
Yeah.
But if you just hit her on a regular day, a day she didn't even post, like she hasn't even been on the gram for like a week, and you're like, hey, that's it. Hey. And then she's seeing that on the shit, and she don't know what your intentions are. If you're putting emojis and replying to stories, she already know what time you on. She knows like, oh, he's after me, you know. But if you just put hey, she doesn't know. You could be saying, hey, can you plug me up with somebody? Hey, can you connect me? Like, hey, I like what you did there. Hey, like, you don't know what's going on. So I've seen like even a more effective way is just being nice. Because at the end of the day, you also, I've learned that you can't also be moving crazy, because you need some of these girls as your allies. Instead of being just the nigga diving in her DM to fuck, you need to be her ally in the sense of, this is a lit girl that if she's a fan of you, she has fans too. So like if she's a fan of you and you post music, she gonna post you on her story. And now she got 100,000 people that didn't know you then now they fuck with you. And most of the time, the lit girls have lit people following. You get me? Like, people you wouldn't even imagine, like, that follow them. They're like, oh, shit, Drake follows her or whoever follows her. Yeah. And now she posting you up on her shit. And now you're being seen by different people of different caliber. Yeah.
I like that topic we're on, but this one was a question that like I had from like something else we were talking about. When you're, I heard this quote that said that when you're on the mountain, like when you're climbing the mountain, everyone wants to help you up, right? But then once you get to the top of the mountain, everyone wants to bring you down. Okay. Have you dealt with that yet? Like haters, like negative people, like.
Yeah, I mean, there's always negativity, bro. Like I'm a person that, like, once you give me a little bit of negativity, I'm really cutthroat with, like, just cutting you out of my space. Because, like, I can't, it just fucks up my energy, you get me? Like, to have that shit around me. So I'm the type of person that I protect my energy a lot. So I try to, like anyone that's with that energy, I try to, like, just stay away from, you know?
Alright, because that made me just realize that when an artist has, like, a lot of yes men, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, when you have too many people saying yes, sometimes you don't know what's really, like, not.
Absolutely.
Like, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're cutting off all that negativity, right, and you have people around you that are just like, basically just being your friend because they know if they say something wrong, then you might cut them off. Yeah. How would you move in that way?
Well, there's a difference from negativity and hate and constructive criticism, or somebody giving you, you know, their opinion. You know, like, I'm not saying that their opinion isn't valid. It's just like there's people that you just feel hate, and you just feel, or they tell you things that are hateful things or negative shit that had nothing to do with what you were doing. I'm not saying like none of my team is yes men. Everyone is a no. Like, the no is so strong that for them to say yes, you gotta come with some shit. You get me? But when they say no, I'm not taking it with offense because it's coming from a place of love. Like, it's like, oh, we want to make you better, so this is, you know, what we think. I think that hate is just when you have no good reason to dislike it. You can't come up with a good reason. Like, so you'd be like, okay, so why do you hate this? And you're just waiting for a response. Because... And they can't really name shit. You get me? Like, and then, like, if they're like, oh, because I don't like the song. All right, cool. But 10 people were in this room and you're the only one that didn't like the song, then maybe it's not your vibe. You know, maybe I'm not your vibe. So play them another vibe, and, like, it's the same energy, then maybe you're just a hater. Maybe you just don't like, you know, me as an artist, you know?
I feel like in that situation, you would, like, more feel the animosity towards you.
Yeah.
How would you differentiate that between hating towards you or just the music?
Well, I think the hate just is probably, like, less about the music. It's probably just about you, more about you, just for the simple fact that, like, there's just people that just don't want to see other people do well. They're just mad, you know? So I think, like, whenever anybody says a negative comment, the way you, like, differentiate who's really with you and who's not is, like, who shows up after that negative comment, or who helps you change that negative perspective. So if you could come in here and say, yo, your song, I don't really like it, it's not very good. If you stay here with me and try to fix it, and you're still with me on that journey of trying to, like, help my career, then you're not a hater. You're just somebody who gave me constructive criticism and helped me correct it. You had reasons why, too, you didn't like it, and we try to work towards it. Now, if you just show up to a place and you're like, I don't like it, that shit's trash, and then you leave, then you don't fuck with me. Like,
they're not really giving me anything to work with.
They're not giving me anything to work with. You can't even improve off of that.
What was some advice that someone gave to you that at first you were like, nah, fuck that, but then later on you realize, okay, you know what, they're saying this for a reason?
I mean, they told me that my music wasn't good enough. Like, early on, They told me my music wasn't good enough, and I was just upset at first. You know, like just like every artist when they start rapping, like nobody wants to listen to their shit. So
right. So when they say your music's not good enough, what's going on in your head? Like, what are you thinking? Like, how is it like?
Bro, depression, bro. Depression is going through my head because it's like in the beginning, like your art is like so dear to you, so you don't have like that much tough skin to take somebody to tell you, yo, this is not good. And in the beginning, you're just mad. You're just like, oh, this person being a hater. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. But reality is, most of the time in the beginning, it's not good. So I realized, like, with practice, I'm also the guy that when you tell me no, I try to prove you wrong every time. Mm-hmm. So when I was being told no, I was like, all right, I know how to fix this. Let me go in the studio, work on my craft to get better. So as I got better, I realized what they were saying to me was valid. The music wasn't good enough. You get me? Mm-hmm. And then the only reason why now I can say the music is good enough, and I know and I stand like firm on my feet, is that multiple times music that I've been a part of, like written on, has been picked by major labels to be released. So it's gone through a panel of people to say, hey, we like this song, let's put 50K or 100K or 200K behind it. So now you're already like validating me as a music creator. You know what I mean? So that's why I could talk like that, because I've already seen it multiple times where I've created a song that the artist and the label has approved.
Mm. Yeah, I had a really good question, but I forgot it.
It's all good.
Do you do shows?
Well, we haven't done shows yet because, like I said, like our rise as like this brand that we started building was during quarantine. So like we've been in the game for years, but the artist shit, we started pushing it last year, but now we're planning to do some shows. Like what we're gonna do is one of the artists that I wrote for is like my sister. Shout out to Neza. She's an artist in LA, like big YouTube influencer. She did like a show online and sold tickets online on this like platform that they gave her. And we plan to do shows on that same platform. So then we can sell tickets, you know, for like $1, $5, whatever it is, and do like a 30-minute set. And we plan to do our first one like in our backyard. We have a pool. We're gonna set up like real nice lights, set up like a whole vibe back there, and then do like an online show.
Oh, like a live stream kind of?
Like a live stream. Like that's what we're gonna start doing. We're gonna start doing live streams, but paid. Like so, like you have to like pay a ticket to like get into the live stream. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're gonna start doing.
How do you feel about like the whole like festival circuit? Like, you trying to get on any of those?
Yeah, for sure. Like for sure. Like when I know that a realistic goal is probably like next year getting on one of those. You know, just because, you know, I'm building to get to that point. I'm building to get to the point where I have more fans, like I'm being heard more, and I'm more in demand, you know, to get to a place like that.
Mm-hmm. What advice do you have for anyone that's starting out right now?
Bro, be relentless. You know, like my advice is to just be relentless night and day, and then just don't take no for an answer, you know, like just be super persistent with it, you know, like if you work on your craft and you're persistent, there's no way you won't level up, you know, only God knows what level you'll reach, but you'll definitely level up, you know, every step of the way.
What was your favorite song that you made?
Damn, that's a good ass question. Favorite song that I made? I mean, I don't have a favorite song that I made, but I have like favorite video that I shot that was like, that's why I have like a strong feeling with that song. Is probably
Holy Matrimony?
No, I like Code. A song that I did called Code. That one, we had a lot of fun in it because we shot it in this crazy mansion. We had like 10 models there. It like everything, the fits, the shots, like the vibe, like it was nuts. It was the first time that the team and I also like stayed together in a house. So it was dope to have like my whole team like at the crib.
Yeah, it was just a vibe.
And it gave me a preview of what like life is gonna be. like having the whole gang with you, you know. Mm-hmm. So that was a dope moment.
Do you feel like something like do you feel like the decisions that you made in the past, like when you look back on them, do you feel like, wow, this was all leading up to this? Like
100%, bro. 100%. Like I used to think when I was younger, I was signed to a label and we had music. We had like 2 songs on the radio, Part 96 and 99 Jams. And at that time, things happened really like fast, like in a sense of like certain movement. So I thought, damn, like we about to be out of here, bro. Like shit's about to go. And then it didn't happen. I realized it wasn't supposed to happen. Like if it would have happened, I probably would have thrown away my career. Like I wasn't ready. You get me? Yeah. So now being in this point, I realize all the maturity, you know, like the growth mentally and the discipline that it takes to be an artist. So like now I feel like throughout the years I've built like that discipline and maturity. So now I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Like it's everything's falling to you in the right place.
Exactly. And you know how to handle it.
Yeah.
You know, cause like even a situation as small as like shooting a music video with like really hot models. Like if you're young and you're new to the shit, like you probably be out of character. You probably be like, oh shit, like you know, like but like once you have the maturity level and you already done it for a while, like you know how to move in situations, you know, you move better in public places, in studios, and in the club, wherever you go, you're gonna move better.
And you don't like ruin those relationships.
You don't ruin the relationships, and you just like you're always moving correct. You're like a stand up dude, like in every setting that you're at. You're not sloppy ever. You know, you go to the club. That shit looks like, you know, it looks good. You're not sloppy. You're not getting drunk. You're not, you know, you're moving a certain way because you're a public figure now. You know, like you go to the studio, you know how to move, like studio etiquette, like when to talk, when not to talk. You know, same thing, you know, like anywhere you go, you gain experience and you move better. And that's important as an artist, to move right.
You have anyone you want to shout out?
I mean, I want to shout out TSC, man, the Sound Code. You know, like as much as no matter how people perceive like me, really I wouldn't be where I'm at without like the people that are with me. You know, like that's just the reality. You know, like I know what I bring to the table, but just them believing in me and dedicating time and their craft to what I'm doing has like expedited my career, you know, so I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for that, for real.
Yeah, for sure. Where can they find you at?
Rob Dymez on every platform, bro. ROBDYMEZ. Rob Dymez on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, on everything, on YouTube, on every platform.
And before we wrap it up, tell us about Rob Dymez. Like, why did you pick that name?
Well, I used to play ball. I used to play basketball, and I was a point guard. So, like, Dimes is like an assist. So, like, one of my boys, like, early on, I was like, damn, like, I need a rap name, some dope rap name. And he was like, why don't you just go with, like, Dimes, bro? And then I was like, shit, Rob Dymez, but I'm going to spell it different because I want to, like, make it unique. Yeah. You know, so I spelled it different. And thank God I did, because that shit is unique and nobody has it, you know, so it works well.
Yeah, it has like that star power to it too.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, so this has been 6 Feet, the one and only Rob Dymez.
Oh, yeah. Check me out, bro.